Welcome to Planning Center University. My name is Aaron. I am the co-founder of Planning Center, and I'm also the product manager of Planning Center Services, which is very convenient for teaching this class today. So today's class is on worship planning. Services is our oldest app. It's how Planning Center got started, and so there's a lot to it. So Services actually has two different PCU classes. Today's class is on worship planning and putting together an order of service and song management. We're not going to talk at all about scheduling people. That class is going to be next month, I believe, or maybe 2 months. You can check the schedule, but today's class on worship planning. Now, we are the outline of today. I'm going to start off by talking about basic worship planning, how to assemble your order of service and how to just sort of get in and put a service order together. Then I'm going to go in and talk after that about organizing your songs, how to add songs, how to organize your song library, how to transpose, all of the cool song stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit about media, and then at the end we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about some advanced planning tips. So those of you who have used Services for a long time, you'll learn some stuff from the first part, but you'll especially find some stuff at the end. By the way, when I taught my last Planning Center University, everyone was asking, does he think he has a touchscreen Mac? No, I know I don't have a touchscreen Mac. My notes are on my phone right here. So when you see me swiping on my computer screen, it's a phone. I'm not dumb. Well, not in this way. So, and then at the very end, we're going to have questions. So while we're in this class online, if you have questions, you can type in the chat. But the best way to get actual questions at any time, especially those of you who are watching this after it's live, is to use our Help Center. That is so awesome and it's really important. So from any of our apps, you can click a question mark at the very top right of the app. And that is going to open our Help Center. And that Help Center has links to different articles. It has a place for you to ask questions like, how can I transpose? And you're going to see articles on different ways to transpose, and you can watch videos and read those articles there. Or at any time, you can reach out to our amazing customer support team. And you can see right now their average reply time is currently 42 minutes. So we typically respond in less than 1 business hour. So there's no reason for you to wait till Planning Center University to ask your questions. Reach out to our support team at any time from this box. Okay. After this class is over, you will be able to watch it pretty much immediately from YouTube. And you can watch it at any time, send it to other people. And the best place to send people to sign up for other classes and to watch this again is by going to planning.center/university. And from that page, you'll see all the information where you can sign up and where you can watch these classes, send them out to your whole team if you feel like it's going to be beneficial to them. We're going to get started here, and we're going to start with basic planning. Now, this is planning your worship service and sort of seeing kind of what the overview is of what we're going to be working towards. Now, I'm going to start this out because my account is already set up. So I'm going to show you what this is sort of like day to day, week to week, when your account is not brand new. And then we're going to show you more what it looks like when you're setting things up from scratch. So I am logged into my dashboard here, and I'm on the main plans page, and this shows me all the plans that I've planned in my entire account. I'm in a folder called San Diego. This fake church that I'm in has 2 campuses, and so I go into my San Diego campus folder. From within here, I have other folders for children's ministries, student ministries, but then I have my service types where I actually do my planning that are the main ones. So I've got my Celebrate Recovery service, I have a traditional service, and I can see all of the plans that I've started from there. I've got a midweek service, and I have a couple of plans started from there. And then I've got my main contemporary service, which I'm working on, and this has even more information in it. And so this is where I see all those different plans that I've started coming up. So I'm going to go into my September 20th service, and we're going to show you sort of what a plan looks like. So within a plan, I've got my different service times. So my contemporary service happens at 9 a.m. and at 11 a.m. It's the same service. So I just add 2 different service times. There's other times that you can add. Those are more about scheduling. So those are my service times. Now let's actually get into what it's like to add things to our service. You can see my service already has a lot of stuff in it. I have a pre-service item for my walk-in slides. I've got some songs added there and my other stuff. So to add a new item to the service, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go up to the top, hover over this add an item, and I could add a header, song, or media, but I'm just going to click on the button itself, and that's going to add an item. I am going to add announcements, and I'm going to set those to 3 minutes. Let's be realistic, maybe 5 minutes, even though I might want them to be 3. So we'll put those in there, and then I am going to put an item description in there. I've copied this to my clipboard before, and so here are what my announcements are going to be, and then I'm going to say who's going to be doing this. Laura's going to be giving the announcement. And so once I have that, I click accept. That adds those announcements to the bottom of my plan. And now I can just drag them exactly where I want those to go in my service. So I'm going to drop them right here. And there are my announcements. Next, let's add a song. So I'm going to go up to the add an item button again. And this time I'm going to go down to add a song. And this is going to load my whole songs library. And we'll talk about setting up your songs library in a minute, but mine's already set up. So I am going to type search for my song, What a Beautiful Name. And here it is. It's filtering it down. Now, I've added this to my songs library in 2 different keys. Sometimes I do it in A and sometimes in D. Now, when I hover over those keys, I have a place to put in the description of those keys. So I can see, oh, A is the male key and D is the female, the original recording. And I'm going to have Allison lead this, so I'm going to click on the D key. It adds that in, and because it's in my song library, it knows how long this song is. It has imported the song sequence, so I know kind of what order I'm doing the song in. And it even imported my notes from the last time that I did this song. And so that saves me a lot of time. It's remembering kind of what I do on those. So this looks good to me. So I'm just going to click accept. It adds that to the bottom of my set list, and I'm just going to move it up just a little bit here. And somehow I got something extra added on there. So now that I have that in the right place, I want to show you the cool thing about songs. Because that song is in my library and I've already attached files to that song in the library, all the files that I want come over into this plan. So over here to the right, I've got a little number 5. That's showing me that there's 5 attachments to this item. So when I hover over that, I can actually see what those are. So I can see I've got a lyrics file, I've got an audio file, there's even a YouTube attachment to show the acoustic version of this, and then I have files attached just to the specific key. That means when I do it in D this week, I have the D chord chart, but I don't show that other chord chart in A. And when I do this again, if I do it in A, it will show the chord charts from A. So it helps you organize things so that when your team members log into this plan, they only see the files that they need for just this one particular week. So this is how you can kind of see what files are there, but there are actual rehearsal tools for your team members to get to that are easier than going to each file right here. So at the top of the plan, we have a rehearse button. And this rehearse button, one of the best things in here is the media player button. So what this is going to do is it's going to load up a media player, and it's going to load anything that is playable media, so videos and audio, from all the songs in this entire service, in this entire plan. And it's going to load those up, and it will play them in a playlist for me. And this is great for rehearsing. This media player also works in our mobile apps. And actually, your volunteers are probably going to want to that's where they're going to interact with this the most. They'll download the app for iOS or Android, and the media player is there. They can rehearse in their car. It's awesome. But it's available on the website from here. The second thing you have under this rehearse button is download all PDFs. Now, this is sort of like a PDF songbook. Just like the media player, it's going to go through all of the songs in this plan, and it's going to give you options to what you want to download. So I want the order of service. I want regular chord charts, not the lyrics, not any of the rest of this stuff. And when I click accept, which I'm not going to do, it basically gets the PDFs and compiles them all into one master PDF, so I don't have to download them individually. That's download all PDFs. Next, I want to show you how Services helps you plan the timing of your service. Now, not all churches care about this, but churches that have multiple service times or that have busy parking lots want to make sure that their services stay to a certain time so that church isn't crazy for people. So when you add items, you saw that I added a length. And the length is showing right here next to each item. And at the very bottom of the service, you can see how long it's telling me the whole service is going to be based on all those different lengths. Now, it does not include the length of any pre-service items, which is great. So the actual service is going to be about 70 minutes right now. But I have an option where I can change these lengths by clicking on the column header up here where it says length in minutes. I can choose to see, instead of lengths, I can choose to see when these items are supposed to happen at the 9 o'clock service or the 11 o'clock, or I can choose all. And this is great because I can see when each item is going to happen at each service. Now, often it's not going to be exactly this, but this kind of gives you just an estimate for your planning purposes. Let's add another item now. And I want to show you my favorite way to add items. Instead of clicking that add an item box, I'm going to use a shortcut key. Yes, these exist and they're awesome. So if you want to add an item, you just hit I on the keyboard. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to add a baby dedication. Now, I actually already have baby dedications, but they are different lengths in each service. I have more baby dedications in my second service than in my first service. So how do I plan that? So let's say just that the baby dedications are 5 minutes in here. So now what I have is I have a second baby dedications, and my other one was already 5 minutes. It's okay. Let's change this one back to the first service is only going to be 3 minutes. So I've got 2 different baby dedication items here. Here's how you can exclude these from services. So if this 3-minute one is only for the 9 o'clock service, I'm going to click right here on the 11 o'clock timing to remove it. I'm going to exclude it from that service time. And then the second one, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to say this 5-minute one is only in the 11 o'clock service, so I click on the 9 o'clock service, and now I have items of different lengths in each service. Now, when you're looking at the plan that's showing you everything, you're going to see both of those things. However, if you go to the print options up at the top, and when you print, you can say, I only want to print the 9 o'clock service time. When you do, it's only going to have the baby dedications for the 9 o'clock time on that print view. So it's a way to have 2 different printouts for the same plan. I'm going to switch this back to my simpler view where we just see the length in minutes to declutter my screen a little bit. And now sort of the last thing we're going to talk about in this basic planning part is seeing different columns of notes. When I added some of those, you saw that I said Laura was going to do the announcements. So how can I see that right here in my plan? Well, right up here at the top is a column chooser. So I have the option to see lots of different things right here on the plan, like the song sequence. I can view that and it will show me. But right now I'm just going to choose the person notes. And now right there on the plan, I can see who is doing each of those things. And I actually need to type in for that second baby dedication, Laura's going to do it. And I can just click right here on the plan and I can type it, hit enter, and I don't even have to go in to edit the item. I can do it right from here. So that's a great little shortcut. Now, I just added a song. I added some more baby dedications. What should I do now? I should email my team, because after you make big changes to your plan, especially if you've already emailed your team, I added a new song, I should tell them about it. This is really important. Your team members aren't just sitting in front of their computer watching for updates. So what's nice is you can actually email them really easy, and more of those shortcut keys. So I can just hit E on my keyboard, and that's going to bring up my email box, and I can say I want to email all scheduled people, just the band and the vocals, because they're the only ones that need to know about new songs. And then I can send them an email saying, hey, log in again. I've added What a Beautiful Name, and you can be ready to rehearse that. Well, basic planning. That is kind of it, but that's good because we've got a lot to talk about for songs here today. So we're going to go over to our songs page. I'm going to show you how to organize this. Now, This is a brand new version of the songs page that was just released in the last month or two. It's still optional. If yours doesn't look like this, there's a little bar at the top that will allow you to switch and view this new version. If you're watching this later, you probably are already on this page, so you don't have to worry about it. So when you sign up for Planning Center, there are no songs in your account. We don't give you a song library. It is empty, and you tell us what songs you want to do. But we give you a ton of features to help organize those and even to make it really easy for you to get songs into your account. And some of those, the best way to do that is through our integrations. And this new song page has the ability to set up those integrations right from this page. So at the top, we've got a gear here, and I'm going to click this gear. And here's some of my options. I can put in my CCLI number, but my integrations are from 3 different companies here. The one that most people are familiar with is Song Select, because that is from CCLI. And you can click that and you can enable this for basically anyone in your account. And Song Select gives, you pay a subscription to them, and then you get a certain number of chord charts and lyrics a year. So once you enable that, it'll make it really easy for you to import those things from Song Select. Rehearsal Mix is another company. This is Rehearsal Mix is a product by multitracks.com, and this is amazing because they get the original recordings of all the popular songs, and they give you a different mix with each instrument turned up. So it makes it really easy to rehearse. They have a lot of other stuff as well that you can get, but that's the main thing that Rehearsal Mix does. Now this integration needs to be set up for each user, and there's a whole process for it. But if you want to know how to set that up, you can go to our help box in the top right and type Rehearsal Mix, and there will be an option, a lesson that shows you how to set that up. Next is Praise Charts. Praise Charts is also something that you set up for each person, and they provide different chord charts, lyrics, orchestrations, lots of different versions of your files, and they're a little different from Song Select in that Song Select usually just has one version of each song, and Praise Charts has a different version for all the different recordings of that. So you buy individual charts from them. So it's not a subscription. You buy songs one at a time, and then if you've bought that song, you can really easily import it into Planning Center. So I've set up all 3 of these integrations because you might use some of them for some songs and some for other songs. I've got them all set up, and so now I'm going to show you what it looks like to use those. So let's add a brand new song. So I'm going to go to Add a Song, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to add Who You Say I Am. So I'm going to do my search, and this is probably my favorite new feature of our new songs page is this new search. So we now allow you to search by popular recordings. This is brand new, and this is actually searching Rehearsal Mix Multitracks, all their database of all these songs. And so not only can you see the album art and which version of it, but you can actually click on the album art and you can hear if this is the version of the song that you want to play, and know, yep, that's exactly the one that I want. Now, they have all the popular recordings. There are sometimes songs that don't have popular recordings, and so you can still use our older search that has probably more songs by switching over to this All Songs tab, and it will search the CCLI's database. So you can do either one of these, and we'll remember which of these you like, so the next time it will choose that option for you. So I'm going to go back to popular recordings because when you use this popular recordings, you get a lot of extra stuff for free. So when I choose a popular recording, it brings in the right arrangement name. It also, you can't see it right now, but you're gonna get how the beats per minute of the song. On a lot of the new songs, you're gonna get the song sequence. You're gonna get a whole bunch of extra cool stuff. The length of the song as well. So it knows the default key is G flat. This is great, and it put in my arrangement name of Hillsong Worship. And now if I do this in G flat, my guitar players will revolt if I give them a chart in G flat. If it's F sharp, they might like it better. But instead, I'm going to give them a capo version. So I just go to capo, and I'm going to say I want a capo in E for this particular chart, and you can add multiple capos if you want. Then it's going to allow us to set some of the tags on our song. And tags are something we'll talk about later that you can customize for yourself. We give you some default ones. And any tags that you set as required are going to show up in this box. So So if you want to make sure every new song has a tag, set it as a required tag. And I'm going to say the speed on this is medium. And the type of song this is it's a worship chorus. And I customized all these options. If you have other tags you want to add occasionally, you still have this add tags button that you can add other tags if you want. This new section down here allows you to add files right in this process. So I could choose to add my song select lyrics, the song select chord chart, my rehearsal mix files, and it searched in the background and it knows that I have bought charts from Praise Charts for this particular song. So that's showing up as an option here too. So yes, I want to import my Praise Charts and my rehearsal mix stuff, and I'm going to click submit. Now what that's going to do is it's going to add this song for me, and then in the background it's going to queue up importing those files that I've purchased from Praise Charts and from Rehearsal Mix. And so as it's importing those, you'll see those files just pop in to the view, and once it's done, all the files are going to be there added to my song there. And so you can see I have a chord chart in G flat, a chord chart for capo 2 and E. These are all the different rehearsal mixes. So I can hear the electric guitar 1, the keys 1, all those different ones. Rehearsal mix also gives you the original mix. So I've got the original recording of that song that everybody can listen to, plus all the rest of this stuff. So by doing all that, your files are sort of like already there, especially if you have any of these integrations set up and you're using popular recordings of these songs. We have an awesome feature in services that allows you to transpose chord charts. So when you're buying them from another site or you're using an integration, you usually can just import them in whatever key. But when you import a text version of your file, you have even more options. So I bought a text version of my file from Praise Charts. So when it imported that, it didn't import it as a file, it imported it as text. I know this is confusing a little bit, so I'm just going to show you. So it put it in this lyrics and chords box. So I'm going to click lyrics and chords and show you how this works. You could type this in from scratch. What this is on the left, this is what it imported from Praise Charts. So if it hadn't done this, it would just be blank. And this is your chord chart, and you could just type it out. But because I bought the text from Praise Charts for like $1, $2, something like that, it put this all in there for me. And now I have all the lyrics, I have the chords. I can go in here and change it. I can move around the verses, choruses. I can change the chords if there's a different chord that I like. And so this is the editable text on the left. And then on the right, it's actually showing me what that chord chart is going to look like. So on the left, you can just type out your chords, but what we recommend is putting them in a format called Chord Pro. And Chord Pro puts the chords inside of brackets right next to the lyrics. And that is going to, what our system does then is it moves that chord right above that next lyric. So you can see right here, G flat before the word who is above the word who over here. So your chords always are aligned with the right lyric, even if you change the font or the font size or whatever, everything always lines up when you use Chord Pro. In this options menu right here at the top, there's it takes you right to a lesson to learn how to do Chord Pro, but it's really as simple as this, just putting the chord in brackets next to the lyric that you want it attached to. So you can do lots of different formatting options in these chord charts. So if I go up to my formatting menu right here, I can choose, I want this in 1 column or 2, what font I want it in, the default font size, and I can even say, I want my chords to be blue instead of black, just to make them a little bit easier to see. And it's going to refresh that if you want to do that. And you can change those defaults from your settings page as well that we won't talk about right now. One of the best things here, though, is that it will transpose this to any key on the fly, which is amazing. So right now I'm just previewing it in this original key of G flat. But I can say, hey, what is it going to look like for the guitar players in E? And I can just choose E, and the capo version is going to look like this. I can choose any key. We even allow you to transpose this to the Nashville number system, and it will put those charts in numbers. Or you can see what it's going to look like when we take all the chords out of this and just show it as lyrics. Sometimes that's helpful for your vocalists. I've got a lyrics chart, all based on this same chart over here. So it's making a lot of different versions of it automatically for you based on those chords. So because this is entered like that, that is why when I go back to my songs page up here, that's why this key of G flat has both of these chord charts, because it's in that Chord Pro formatting. So when I add, if I say, you know what, sometimes I actually want to do this in the key of D, I can add a key down here, and I can say I want to do this in D, and I'm going to just ignore all the rest of this stuff for now, but just show you that when I save this, it adds that in D, and the chord chart is just automatically there because it's in that lyrics and chords box. So this is great if you want to write your own chart, or if you want to modify charts that you bought or found online in some other way. Now, oh, and there go the rehearsal mixes. Just, it was importing in the background. So to organize your songs library, we allow you to have multiple arrangements of a song. So sometimes you do a song two different ways, or sometimes it might even be kind of the same way, but you want to keep the files separate, like maybe the high schoolers use a different kind of chord chart than you do, and so you want to give them their own arrangement so that they have their own files, and they're not messing with files from other arrangements. So over here on the left-hand side of the page is where I see my Hillsong Worship. I'm going to add another arrangement here, and I'm going to say, you know what, this is actually, we're going to do an acoustic version of this song that is not with the whole band. So this is going to be, I don't have to set this now, I could do it later, but I'm going to say it's 3 minutes, 30 seconds. I do have to put in that speed. I'm going to put in this style as well. And then I'm going to download the lyrics from Song Select this time, because I haven't bought this one from Praise Charts, but I do have Song Select, so I'm going to import those lyrics. So when I submit, it's going to ask me what key this is going to be in, and this one is just going to be in D. And I'm actually going to say that that D is the male key of this song, and that's where I showed you before how you can put in descriptions for your keys. So I'm going to do that, and when I hit save, I can see that description, I can see D, and it added those lyrics, and so there's a lyrics chart for me on that. Let's see. Now I'm going to show you, if you don't add files when you're creating the song, or if you have other types of files that you want to add, there's a couple of ways to do that. So one of the easiest ways is right up here next to Files. You're just going to click the plus button. And this opens our file modal, which gives you lots of options. You can upload your own files. You can link to a file on the internet that's public, like if you have a public Dropbox folder or something like that. Here's where you, if you didn't do it already, you can relink to Song Select, Praise Charts, Rehearsal Mix, iTunes, Spotify, or Amazon if you want to just put previews up there. Or we can go to YouTube. So I am going to go to YouTube, and I see that there is this acoustic version of this song, and I want to link to this specific YouTube file. So I'm just going to click the plus, and it adds that YouTube link right there. So that will be available in the media player for my team members. Now for this acoustic version, I actually have written my own version of this, and so I already have my own chord chart, and I recorded my own audio for this song. So I am going to upload those files. So on my desktop, I'm just going to close this window real quick so it gets out of the way. On my desktop, I actually have a PDF and an audio file for this. So I'm just going to drag those files right over into the key of D, because both of these files are in the key of D. And I only wanted them to show up when I do this song in the key of D. So it's going to upload those files for me, and now, boom, those files are available when I add this song to a plan. Now, let's say sometimes now I want to do this song in C. So I'm going to add another key here, and we're going to say this is the key of C, and this is, let's just say, male low is how I want to describe this. You could also put like a specific worship leader's name in here, is what a lot of churches will do. And I'm going to click save on this. And so I get that particular key, but there's no files in it. But what's great is Planning Center Services can even transpose audio files for you. And you can do that from two different places. One, you can hover over an audio file and you can click the transpose icon that shows on it, or you can click the transpose audio icon that's right up here next to files. So if audio files exist on this particular arrangement of the song, I click on this, and I can say, yes, I want to transpose this from D, and I want to go down to C. It knows that C is closest if it goes down, so it chooses down for me automatically, and it's going to name this file perfectly, so I just hit transpose, and you can see it's going to do it. So you're probably wondering, what does it sound like? When you transpose audio files, the instruments sound basically the same. The only thing that the speed stays the same. Everything is the same. The only thing that changes is usually the vocals sound a little bit like a chipmunk, or maybe a little bit like James Earl Jones. But I like Mufasa sings worship. So either way, it's going to be good enough for your team to be able to rehearse along with. And that's the point, is that they can listen to it in the key they're going to play it in and play along or sing along with that particular audio file. I've sort of shown you almost everything that there is on here. The last thing that I'll just tell you is you pretty much always want to be on an arrangement tab on here. You'll see that there is this all arrangements tab up here of the song. This, you don't usually want to add files here. You can. If you add a file here, files that you add here will show up for your users for every arrangement that you choose. And so usually your files belong to a specific version or a specific key. That's why you want to usually be on the arrangement tab. But if you do have a file that goes with every version that you'll ever do of this song, you can add it to this all arrangements tab. And this is also where song tags, like this song is a chorus. Every arrangement is going to be a chorus. So it's a tag for the song itself. So now let's go, and now that I've sort of put in my song and I've tagged my song and I've done all this stuff, let's go back to the songs page and let's see some of our organization features in here. So to find a song, you can just click in this text filter, and if I want to find Who You Say I Am, I can just type that, hit enter, and it's going to narrow this down into, it's going to find just that specific song. If I want to see the specific arrangements of this song, I can click this little expand icon and I can see the different arrangements, and you can see C, D for this one, D and G flat, but when I collapse it, it's telling me that this song, all the arrangements are done in all three of these keys, and then I can expand to see more details on that. This is text search. Our filters are where the real power lies because it allows you to do some really powerful stuff. So I can hit the filter bar button here, or I can just hit F on my keyboard. There are keyboard shortcuts all over the place. So search shortcuts in our help center and you'll see all those different shortcuts, but also just try them out, see what happens, because usually what you think it will do is what it's going to do. So when I open my filter sidebar here, this allows me to do things like, right now I'm showing 100 songs. I can say, you know what, just show me my songs in the key of D. Now I'm down to 22 songs. And now I'm going to go over to tags and I'm going to say, I want to find songs in the key of D that are medium or fast. So I'm going to click both of those. And as I'm doing those filters, it's adding filter pills, is what we're calling them, to this bar up here. So you can see what filters are applied even once you close the filter bar. Now let me explain how the logic of these filters work. Anything inside a single filter pill, the logic is or. So I'm seeing songs that are fast or medium, which means as I add more of these, I get more songs. The logic between different filters is and. So what this filter is showing me is I want to find songs that are in the key of D and are either fast or medium. So that's how you sort of know how these work. So each filter is its own thing and is or within a filter and between different filters. So notice these filters right now are gray. When I go to a different page, like the media page, oops, you're seeing a preview of something that you're not allowed to see yet. This is coming soon, a new version of the media page. You're allowed to see it, whatever. When I go back to the songs page, those gray filters, they're gone. So filters by default are temporary, and you just can filter your list, and when you come back, it goes back. But sometimes you want to make a filter permanent. And that's what pinned filters are for. So I'm going to go back to my filters bar. I'm going to go to tags. And for my song type, I want to find just my worship choruses. Now this is normally what I'm always planning. So usually I just want to see choruses. And what's nice about this is because Christmas is one of my other types, normally I don't want to see my Christmas songs. So this is great. At Christmas time, I can switch this to show Christmas songs and not choruses. So what I can do here, oops, I cleared it out, so I'm going to go back and add it again. Once I add a filter, I can click on the options right from here, and at the bottom, I'm going to go to pin. When I pin it, that's going to turn the filter yellow. Yellow pinned filters means they're always applied by default. So when I leave and come back to this page, this filter is always there. So this is a great way for churches who have multiple song libraries. Like I've got my chorus library, I've got Christmas. You could have a library just for like the high school versions of songs. And so you can add different types to make it really easy to switch between the different types of songs at any time. Once we add these tag filters, you're probably thinking, well, where do I go to actually edit those tags? There's two places. Right from the tag section of the filters at the bottom there is an Edit Tags button. So, or I also have that in my gear menu at the top of the page is another place I can edit tags. So once I go to my Edit Tag screen, there are tags for songs, which once again is for the whole song no matter what version. And then there are also tags for the arrangement. So different arrangements are different speeds. So that's why speed is an arrangement tag. So I can tag my acoustic version of Who You Say I Am with medium and the other one with fast if I wanted to do that. But song tags are like if it's chorus, if it's Christmas, hymn, special. And you can add new ones just by clicking down there at the bottom. And you can make these tags required so that you have to put them in by editing them and just clicking the required checkbox. So setting up those tags is great. If you don't already have tags set up and you have a lot of songs entered, you might want to figure out how to reorganize your library with new, better tags that you're using. And our new songs page allows you to do that with a feature called bulk editing. So to bulk edit on a songs page, what you do is first you're probably going to want to put your filters on so that you select just the songs that you want to filter. And I am going to click the pencil right here. And I get to choose, do I want to bulk edit songs or do I want to bulk edit arrangements? And right now, I want to make sure that all my songs have the right speed on them. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a filter first. And I'm going to go to my tags and I'm going to look for speed. And instead of choosing a speed, I'm going to say none. I want to find all of my songs that don't have a speed set at all. So when I click none, it's going to filter it down. So now it's all my worship choruses that have no speed. And if I don't want it to just be worship choruses, I can click on this filter and just hit delete on my keyboard. That's kind of a shortcut to get rid of that. So now I've got 30 songs all in my account with no speed. So now I'm going to click to bulk edit arrangements. And that's going to put a checkbox. It's actually going to expand my entire list so that I can see all of my arrangements. And then it's going to show me checkboxes next to all of those arrangements. So I'm going to go into, let's say, Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone. And I'm going to go into Be Thou My Vision. And that's good enough for now. So I've got two selected that I want to be slow. So normally I'd select all the rest of them. This button is now green. It's lit up saying, hey, you've made a selection. Now tell me what you want to do with it. So I'm going to click this here. And I'm going to just type, actually I'll just choose speed, slow. Now it's going to tell me a warning. Each arrangement can only have one speed. So this is telling me, hey, if any of the arrangements you've chosen already have a speed, I'm going to change it. I already know mine don't have a speed, so I don't have to worry about this. So yes, let's change all these to slow. I'm going to say update to arrangements. When I click that button, it's going to put a little bar at the top of the page and it's showing me, hey, preparing the update of those arrangements. And depending on how much other stuff is happening in the background of Planning Center, this could take, a minute or two. Usually it's pretty fast. So this is going to update as it is showing me, as it's doing that, and it will apply that tag to both of those songs. One of my other favorite features that we've already had that was a little bit hidden, and now we're making it a little bit easier to find, is called Top Songs. So when I click to add a song, I can type to add a song, or I can view the top songs. Now these are songs we're comparing all churches who use Planning Center. We have over 50,000 churches that use Planning Center. And so it's looking for the next couple of weeks, and it's even showing you last week if you want to see that. And it's looking for the songs that everyone has planned, the most popular songs people plan. So more people have planned Build My Life for this upcoming May 26th weekend than anything else. So I can see that song. I can see last year for Memorial Day, it has risen 10 spots even since then. And so I can go through and I can see the top 500 songs actually, and I can scroll through the pages. And this is a great way to find new songs based on, if you care about what a lot of other churches are doing. Songs in bold are songs that you already have in your account. Songs not in bold are songs that you don't do yet. And you can just click on one of these and it's going to open up the add song modal with that already chosen, and you can just choose a version of that song and then you can quickly add that song to your account. So top songs is awesome. You can, when you're in that top songs search, by the way, you can search at the top. So if you wanted to find all the songs with grace, either in the title or as a theme of the song, you can type that. You can search by publisher. You can search by author. Because of publisher, you can even search by, I just thought this is kind of fun, you can search by year. So like, hey, how many top songs are from 1993? And then you'll see, these are the songs from 1993 that are top coming up this weekend. So lots of cool features in that top songs database. And then finally on our songs page, we have song reports. And these help you get lots of different information about your songs. So the reports tab gives you option to your CCLI copy activity. If you have to report to CCLI, churches that usually have to do this once every 2 years, you can see how many people are downloading files. If you use CCLI's rehearsal license, that allows you to legally share audio files with your team, will tell you what information to put in on their license so that you can be legal. The song schedule is awesome. It actually shows you in one service how often you've done your songs. And then you can see some other stuff too. So the reports are there. Feel free to explore that. So we also have a media library. So we're moving on from songs real quick. There's not much to show about media. And when I go to media, you can't see this yet. So I'm going to switch back to the version that you can see. Shh, don't tell. Even though this is public on the internet. This is what you can see now. It's going to change pretty soon. And you can add media. Now, media is useful for anything when you want to share or reuse files that are not songs. So when you go to add media, you put in a title, and you can add different types. Background images, videos that you might show on the screen, a countdown video, documents, like if you have a drama script that you want to share between your children's ministries, images, PowerPoint, song videos, just regular videos are probably the most popular ones because it allows you to add those videos to the plan so that if you're going to show a video in the service, the pastor can log into the plan and actually watch a preview of the video right from there. Also, you can auto archive, which is pretty cool because a lot of times if you're going to put like an announcement slide that has, hey, come to, the whatever it is that has a date, that slide is not useful anymore after that date. So you could automatically archive this after that weekend is over. So you can add media to your plans just like you can add songs, and we give you lots of great ways to do that. So now we're going to move into some of our advanced planning, some of the other stuff that it's in our plans. So I'm going to go back to my plan. I have a shortcut just by hovering over the plans tab, and it shows me what I've recently been to. So back in my plan that we were in before, we're going to show just a couple extra things here. So we showed the times. I'm going to close those. Teams is going to be shown in a completely different PCU in a month or two. Notes. These are notes about your entire plan, and you can add different categories by clicking this gear, but like I have a general note, this is the kickoff of our new series, or there's just a note for the choir, wear black, white, or greens, and you probably want to email them that too, but it's nice to have it as a note over here so that if they log into the plan, all the information is in one place. You have a section to add files. Now, careful with this section, you usually don't want to use it. These are files that pertain to just this plan and this plan alone. So when you put in new files here, You don't want to put song stuff because usually your songs you want in the song library so that you can reuse it and get all the reporting and all that stuff. You get none of that stuff when you add files here. But here's a volunteer covenant that we've added. So the volunteers, and actually this shows in every plan in this service type because we attached it to our service type itself, which you can do by editing your service type. Up here's the contemporary service. I would click the gear and there's a place to add files there. But for the most part, just make sure that you're not adding song files here. When you go into an item, I'm going to go into Our God, and I'm going to click the pencil here. I already showed you how there are item notes, and you can have notes in different categories, and you can have different printouts that have one printout with the lighting notes, one printout with the band notes if I wanted to. You can edit those notes by going here to the gear. Now, I'm going to do that really quickly and show you the categories, So this takes you to our service type page, and here are those item note categories right here. Now notice these are all frequently used. At the bottom, I have a note that I added and then I just dragged down here to occasionally used. So occasionally, at Christmas basically, I have notes for my string players. So I drag those notes down there. And what is the difference between occasional and frequent? Well, when I go back to my plan, I will show you that. So when I edit that item again, Our God, and I go back to where I just was, notice strings is not showing here in the list because I don't need it most of the time. But for my Christmas service, when I want it, I can click add another note, and there it is. I can click strings, and now I can add it. So it gets those that you don't need very often out of the way most of the time. Next up, importing of templates. So templates are most often used to import teams of people, but templates can also have different service order items. So at this church, we do communion once a month, and every time we do communion, we have the same things in the service. So what I'm going to do is at the very top of my plan, I'm going to go to import, and I'm going to now choose from my templates, and I have a communion template, and I just want the plan items for now. So when I accept, it's going to add all of the communion stuff that I had in that template to the bottom of my plan. Now templates, it's just importing. It's a one-time thing. It doesn't sync back with the template. So if I make changes in the template, it's not going to change this plan. But now I have those things and I can drag them to the right spot in my service. We have almost a completely separate app built into services, and it is called Services Live. Now, you've done all this planning. Once it's actually time for your service to happen, once it is 9 a.m. on September 20th, 2020, which is a long time from now, you can go into Services Live. And usually what this is there's somebody at your sound booth that is in charge of running this. And it's almost like a behind-the-scenes teleprompter kind of thing. It's just for your staff. It's not something that is shown on your main screens. So I have a countdown to when this contemporary service is going to start. And if I'm the one at the sound booth in charge, I'm going to click Take Control. And so what happens is once this service is about to start, I'm going to click actually 20 minutes ahead of time when the walk-in slides are ready. I hit Start. And this now is updating. Now the countdown is from 20 minutes. I can see what's happening next. I can even drag the section up if I want to see what the notes are for that thing that's happening next. I can chat with other people who are viewing this, and I can see everything else coming up in the service. And what's especially cool about this is other people can be in Services Live, and as I'm updating it, as I'm saying it's time for the next item, theirs is updating automatically, whether from the mobile phone or some people in like their backstage green room. They have a TV that has this on it that kind of shows what's happening in the main service. And Live actually lets you have multiple views. So this is kind of like the default. I'm seeing a lot of stuff, but you can just hover over the top and you can choose different layouts. And in fact, I have another screen over here that is synced up. This is called the full screen overview. And you see, it's on Our God. It's synced up. 4 minutes, 54 seconds remaining. When I come back here and I say next item is set free, this is already updated. So it's keeping everybody in sync on the same page up there. And there's different views of that you can explore. If you have different services happening at the same time in your church, often the high school or the children's ministries or somebody else, they want to run their own version of live, but they sort of want to keep tabs on what's happening in the main service. You can do that too. So at the top right of live is a little eyeball, and you can click that to watch other services. So I'm going to click to watch, and it's going to look for all the other services that are happening at the same time as this service. So I've got my traditional service that I want to watch. So when I click that and I go back here, I can see the traditional service. There's 9 minutes left in the message, and then they're moving on to communion. So you can watch as many other services over here as you want and keep tabs on everything that's happening in the church. And once I'm watching that service, I actually now have a new chat tab. If I want to chat with the people that are in that service, I can switch between chats for each service type or for my entire account. That is Services Live. We're going to go back to the plan. And what's kind of cool is now that I've run Services Live, there's this yellow bar here that tells me, hey, we've recorded the times. We know how long each item actually took. And so you can actually go and when I change length in minutes to all times, I can see my walk-in slides only took 21 seconds. They were super fast. And then Our God was a 39-second song. Woohoo! And then when you go to print, there's a report that you can print out your live service times as well. So you can show basically how your planning matches up with reality, because sometimes the two do not coincide, if you know what I mean. But it's nice just to be able to tell, so it can help you improve your future planning. The matrix allows you to see multiple plans at once. This is most used in scheduling, but can be really helpful just in your planning as well. So I'm viewing just my September 20th service right now. If I click the matrix button here at the top, it's going to load up many plans in their own columns. So I've got September 20th in a column, the next week, the 27th, and then October 4th. And there's different sections, and you can open and close the different sections. So here is my order of service, and I can, if I want to do Blessed Be Your Name again, I can drag things between different plans in the matrix. This is a cool way to plan. A kind of advanced thing a lot of people don't know about. You can add item descriptions to each item. Remember when we added what the specific announcements were going to be? Well, I can click over here to edit my item descriptions. It's going to change this whole order of service section and show me the item descriptions for every item that exists in more than one of those plans. So I have announcements in every plan. I can see what the announcements are going to be across all those weeks, and I can even click and I can edit those specific announcements just by clicking in one of those sections up there. Now, we've got a couple more things to talk about. There is an advanced feature called Attachment Types. There's an amazing video that walks you through this because it's a little bit complicated. And so the video is actually going to show it. It's a 3-minute video. It will show it better than I can. So you can just, but let me tell you what it is. When you have a lot of files for a particular song, which especially happens if you use Rehearsal Mix, when you're getting the electric guitar, the acoustic guitar, and you have all those different versions of the song, you often want to make it easier for your users. Let me actually add that song to this. So let me hit S for song, shortcut key. Who You Say I Am. I'm going to add the Hillsong Worship version in G flat, so that, because I know I added all those rehearsal mixes to that. So there's 26 files for this song. That's a lot of files. That's annoying when your users go into the media player and they have to skip. So attachment types helps fix this. And Rehearsal Mix sort of does this for you automatically, but you can do it on your own. And what this allows you to do is attachment types allows you to hide files based on what you're scheduled for. So if I'm scheduled to keys, I can make it so that that the piano player, keys player only sees the files meant for the keyboard player, that the electric guitar player only sees the files meant for them. So it just makes it a lot easier for them. You can set up attachment types and then assign them to your files, and then you link them to the different positions so that when you schedule somebody, they only see the files meant for them. So look that up in our help if you want help with that. Another really cool feature This is, we're talking about shortcuts now, and that is the fastest way to get to a song. I love this, and it's a couple months old, is our universal search bar at the top. So rather than going to the songs page, typing the song, figuring that out, I can just either click the search bar up here, or I can use a shortcut, which is the / key under the question mark. When I hit that, it opens that automatically for you. Who you say I am, boom, it's already selected, so I just hit enter. It's going to take me right to the most recent arrangement of that song that I visited, which is that acoustic one. So it's a really quick way to jump back and forth between things. Okay, we're going to show a couple of other things. In your plans, go back to the plan here, and you can drag songs from the song sidebar. So here's another way to add songs, which is if you click songs up here at the top, it's going to change this all out. So you click it back. If you want to go back and forth, you click this button to go back and forth between these different views. But once I'm seeing this, I can take a song and I can drag it right on over into my plan. But a cool little extra tip is instead of dragging the song, notice I have multiple arrangements and multiple keys. If I just want to choose that right from here, I want the new arrangement in F. I'm going to drag F, and when I do that, it adds it right to the plan without me having to choose any options. I'm going to delete that again. Next thing we're going to talk about is Planning Center Music Stand. So Music Stand is an add-on app to services, and this allows you to run, use a tablet or a phone. It's not as good on a phone, but you can run an Android or iOS tablet, and this will load up everything that you have planned, and it allows you to basically be a digital music stand for you. So each person logs in with their own account, and I'm just going to mirror this to my screen. Each person logs into their own account, and then when they log in, they open up Music Stand, and in the sidebar, they're just going to choose which plan they want. I've already chosen a plan that I was playing at a couple weekends ago. And I've got my songs loaded in here. It's going to show your whole set list. And when I tap on a specific song, it's going to take me right to that song. And I've got different charts, and I can scroll back and forth. You can use a foot pedal. A wireless foot pedal will allow you to change pages without tapping the screen, which is awesome. Because each user has their own account, each user can make notes on it as well. So you can see I've added, I tap on the screen once, and then in the toolbar, there's a little pen at the top right. So I'll open my annotations toolbar, and that's where I can draw, I'm using white, but that's a great way to erase part of a screen. I'm going to undo that. If I change from white to a different color and I make my pen smaller, I can draw on the screen, I can put text on the screen, which you can see, and I can highlight different sections of it as well. And then I have those notes forever until the future. You can share your notes with other people. If you did the song previously in a different key, you can import your notes for that key. I'm going to undo all those changes and save that. Our toolbar also has an audio player into it. So if you've put your audio files on here, you can click the play button, and at the bottom of the screen, that song is going to load up the audio so that you can play along with it, and you can even scrub back and forth in the music as you play. And it's got a loop button in it as well. So I can click at the very bottom right, this little looping icon. So I can say, you know what, I'm having a hard time with just this one little section of the song. And I loop that, and then it will just keep playing just that one section of the song for me. There's a lot of other great features in Music Stand. So you do have to pay a little extra. It's either $2, $5, or at the most $10 a month, based on how many people you have in your account. But everybody in your account gets to use it at that point. So Music Stand is an amazing way to get your whole team on the same page, especially in rehearsals. That is all we have to talk about today. I think that all of our questions have been answered in the chat, which is amazing. Or you listen to what I said and know that you can click the question mark at any time to ask questions of our support team, and they will answer your questions. Oh my goodness, take advantage of it, because right now your average reply is 5 minutes. Okay, way to go, support team. So feel free to open a ticket with them if you have anything. And then if you've enjoyed this, if you've learned something from this, share it with the rest of your team. You can watch this immediately on YouTube, or you can go to our Planning Center University page at any time to sign up for new classes for our other apps, to sign up for our services class that we're going to do in a month and a half or so on scheduling, or to learn more about Planning Center. So if you want to do that, go to planning.center/university.